What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Leave It to the Judges MMA show. I'm with the boys Xavier and Nick. Guys, say we're going to be doing a bit of a mixture. We're going to be recapping the Seattle card. We're also going to be talking about a lot of the new fights that were announced last week and go in depth to those. But let's start with what happened over the weekend. UFC Seattle, banger card, absolutely banger card. Maybe the best of the year. The prelims were insane. A lot of controversy in the main event, obviously, but don't let that take away from the greatness of the card. But yeah, let's just start at the main event. We got Henry Cejudo versus Song Yadong. This was a great fight. It's a shame how it ended. I think Song Yadong was up pretty comfortably on the scorecards, either 3-0 or 2-1. But hey man, Henry looked good in there. He looked really fast and twitchy. But
Thing is,
Song just
Song is also known to kind of gas a little bit.
yeah.
So, I mean, like, had that fight continued on, I think Henry could have made it at least interesting down the stretch, but guess we'll never know. They said that they're going to run it back. Dana shut that shit down in the press
Yeah.
conference. He was like, no, bro. Fuck. Honestly, Dana definitely bitter about, like, how Cejudo did him, like, all those years ago by retiring and shit, trying to get more money. And he is not trying to do him any favors, bro. Triple C gets no fucking favors from Dana.
No, he's clearly always been like a thorn in Dana's side. He's just annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about the eye poke first. We have to address that. Um, what are you guys' thoughts on it and what went down? First of all, it's just a weird situation with the ref. I think it was Herzog or whatever. Like how like he waited till the next round to start, so there's a so it's a decision, and then there was like a majority decision draw or what or I forgot even what the term was, but I've never seen that. I don't think that's ever been done in the UFC. What are you guys' thoughts on like how we came to the conclusion of Yadong getting a decision win?
I mean, I rock with it, bro. I mean, the one thing I will say, like, maybe Henry wanted a way out of there. I think if he would have lost like very clean, I don't know like what would have kept him fighting. I think this kind of allows him to like still fight again, tell himself like, I could have won that fight, but this happened. I think were he to like get knocked out or like just beat very decisively, like he would have had to retire. I think like I just don't see him like just wanting to become a gatekeeper. You know what I mean? We see it all the time with these fighters who tell us that they're trying to make another title push, one more title push, and then they lose, and it's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna get back in line. You know what I mean? So I think that I mean he didn't lose too much stock in the loss. He did take the L, but in a way that I think that he can kind of, be more okay with. Um, I respect him for like not taking the easy way out. I don't know if he even knew that the fight was gonna be like scored or whatever. Um, Maybe he thought it was gonna be a no contest if he couldn't continue. I don't know what he thought, but I mean, I still respect him for like allowing my ticket to cash and many other people's. You know what I mean? Because like we saw what was going on in the fight. Song was not beating his ass, but Song was winning. Like it was pretty clear. So I mean, I would have had a bitter taste in my mouth had he just like taken the easy way out and just kind of, you know, not let the fight be judged, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really good fight, I would say, up until the point I had to be stopped. Um, they were both definitely scrapping. Song Yadong, though, was just the much quicker fighter. And once he was stuffing the takedowns, I knew it was pretty golden city for them, man. He was just kind of dancing on him at times, I felt. Cejudo's grit, I think, was the most surprising thing about him in this fight. He was able to power through some tough shots and get some very good shots off of his own. The eye poke was really bad. Uh, I don't blame him for stopping. I'm a. He's saying he could only see out of one eye, or he couldn't see out of the left eye. So I only want to know if he can see out of the right eye, because if he's got a clear path, I don't think he did, but if he can see out of the right eye, I would not. You could not take me out of that octagon to stop that fight. Just my opinion, but he was just doing what he thought the best was for him in that situation. Take care of your health first. But That was a good fight. I thought Song Yadong just was the cleaner guy on the feet. Stuffed the takedowns pretty well, pretty easily for the most part. Um,
He was on that lead leg too. He was on that lead leg. That shit was gonna get worse for Henry, I think.
Mhm.
yeah, his lead leg was already very hurt. Like he was already switching stances hella up to that point. I thought Song was gassing a little bit in the second round towards the end, but he picked it back up in the third. So he definitely had it in the gas tank for all five, I think, compared to Cejudo, who I even thought gassed a little in the third, towards when Song was kind of whooping him, and then the eye poke happened. But overall, good fight. I thought it was good. Both came out there, did their thing. I liked it.
One thing I will say, like, we just gotta give it credit, man. Cejudo's chin at 38, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta give it credit, man, because he can eat a shot, man. He can eat a shot, so I'll give him credit for that.
And his striking looked really good. Like Song was getting the better of him, but Henry had his moments. He cut Song open, busted up his face a little bit. And yeah, basically Henry's explanation was he was too compromised with the eye to continue with a guy like Song Yadong. It said it was too dangerous. He wasn't going to risk getting like sparked out cold for everyone's entertainment. Yeah, like you said, Clark, I respect that. We're not the ones in there. We don't know what he's feeling. Let's talk
The thing,
about what's next. Oh, what's up?
the thing is, like, no one's gonna remember that shit in 10 years. You know what I mean? We're just gonna remember, oh, like, remember when Yadong chinned him? So it's like, I get it from his perspective. It's like the risk is not worth the reward. You know what I mean? I'm sure he gets paid to show, like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Mhm.
live to fight another day. Like,
Yeah.
get a payday. Fuck that.
Yeah. So Song Yadong, he has there's a bunch of guys he could fight. Let's just start with Henry Cejudo. What do you guys want to
Podcast
see from him
material.
next if what's up?
I said he has some podcast material. He's gonna run back to
Oh
Usman
my
and
God.
they're gonna butt buddy around on the pod.
He's gonna give like a 7 hour explanation of what happened. But what do you guys want to see from Henry, if anything, next? You guys want to see him stay, keep competing, or retire?
I mean, I'm fine with him to keep fighting because I feel like he just never, like, he has a lot of. This is the problem. He has a lot of fight that we never got to see because he retired in his prime, right? So at this point, he's older, but I think that he's in good shape. I don't think that he's like as beat down as your average 38-year-old fighter. You know what I mean? I feel like
Mhm.
he's still pretty fresh. So, I mean, I'm down for him to just, collect these paychecks as a gatekeeper on the back end of his career, because I mean, he's entertaining every time in there. So, I do enjoy watching him fight, so I'm not gonna say like retire. It's not like he looks like shit in there. He doesn't look washed. He just looks, a step slower than he used to be. And that makes all the difference at the lighter weight divisions for sure.
Yeah, I mean, my problem is the weight class he is in. He beat Marlon Moraes, the gas out king himself, and a 58-year-old Dominic Cruz. That's what he did before he retired. And since he's came back, he has not been able to beat anyone in this division. And I just feel like it's a size thing. I think he's too small for this weight class. I would say like he should retire just like he has championship aspirations, and I don't think that's possible in this division right now. So if he were to stay, I would suggest try to move back down to flyweight. I think flyweight's easy as shit right now, to be honest. So I could see him getting a belt there real quick. So I would suggest that because he's not beating anyone in this top five, like ever at this point, in my opinion. Maybe he could beat Cheeto because Cheeto gives away like 5 rounds and then the fight's just over. So maybe he could beat Cheeto, but he's
Yeah.
not beating any of these guys.
I was gonna recommend Cheeto or Font if Cejudo were to stay. Cheeto or Font, I feel like are good matchups for him.
But like, what's the point?
No,
Like,
it's
like
just if he wants to keep fighting.
I guess, like I feel like he's not that guy. You know, he wants to be the champion so bad. But he
Didn't.
has to realize at this point that's not
Yeah,
possible.
that's why I think we should pair him up with guys like Cheeto or Font, who are also just not guys who are going to touch the belt. Yeah, well, he's not up there with the Yadongs, the Umars, the O'Malleys. He's got to take a step down, which I think those two guys would be good names.
I just think he wants the podcast. I don't even think he wants to fight for real right now.
It's tough. Yeah, I think him losing like this is going to get another fight out of him just because he has the excuse.
Mhm.
So,
Lost a decision. He has no excuse. He
well,
lost.
he has the eye excuse. He's gonna, he's gonna use it, and he did get. It was a
Yeah,
bad
it
injury.
was it was a competitive fight. Like I'm not gonna sit here and act like he was getting his ass whooped for sure. It just,
No, that's true, but it was a clear in my book, he down 3-0. Down 3-0. I thought he lost every round. He was competitive, but
I never thought about the flyweight move, but I mean, like I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, Pantoja old too, and he gashes out.
Yeah, but Cejudo moved up specifically because of the weight cut. I don't. I think the weight cut would be hell for him at this age, and I would take Pantoja over Henry Cejudo any day of the week. In today's game, Pantoja beats him 10 out of 10 times at 125. Come on, guys. Let's not throw disrespect on Pantoja.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 easily.
I don't know,
30.
man. All I know is I think Henry might be able to out cardio his ass, and I don't see him getting that panic wrestling going against Cejudo, man. I don't see it. I don't see it.
You guys are crazy. You guys are
I'm
crazy.
just saying he was good. He was
Y'all
competitive.
are crazy, man.
He was competitive with DJ. You think Pantoja gonna be competitive
Bro,
with?
that was like
He
10
was
years
competitive with he
ago.
was competitive with Marab. He won a round off Marab. Come
Yeah,
on.
but he has to cut guys. He went up to 35 because the weight cut was too much.
I
The
know.
weight cut is way too much.
Get it? I'm just saying 10 out of 10 times Pantoja beating him.
All
Come
right,
on.
maybe 9 out of 10. Toja whooping that ass, bro.
Okay.
But let's move on to what's next for Song. He has a lot of interesting options. A name I'm hearing a lot is Umar. What do you guys think about that? And give me a name, you guys. Give me your number one option. Who do you want for Song? And your thoughts on Umar.
Uh, so Figueiredo, he's fighting
Corey.
Sandhagen.
Yep. In
Who
Iowa.
does? So top three, no one has a fight. So they're probably gonna do Jan for the title. Nah.
I think we're
I
gonna
mean,
do Sean for the title.
he can run it back with Cheeto.
Yeah.
I mean, Cheeto's kind of eating up a spot right now, and he has to fight.
Yeah, I
I
would
could
say
go Cheeto.
Cheeto. I'd say Cheeto or I mean I like Umar. That makes sense.
You guys are bangers. All right, though. Let's move on to the co-main. We got a middleweight bout here. Fluffy Anthony Hernandez wins pretty well, the first round was pretty compelling and competitive, but Fluffy took over. Fluffy did Fluffy things. Gets an impressive unanimous decision win. Brendan Allen looked good, but what are you guys' thoughts on Fluffy's performance?
I mean, much like their first fight, which I've only seen the highlights, but I get the narrative. Brendan Allen's a good grappler. Fluffy's just like maybe 3% better than him, I would say, and it makes all the difference, And in the extended exchanges, um, he just kind of gets the better of him and starts to like he kind of just grinds all these guys out, man. He knew he can implement that from the first fight, and he did it again. In the first round, he damn near put himself in a bad spot, and Allen started whooping his ass for a minute there. Got a little spooky. But once he like got his wits about him and shit, like he was good. Um, got the body lock, dragged him down consistently, and just kind of like chipped away at him, man. Just did fluffy things like you said. He almost had a couple of sub attempts. I remember, I think second round. But Brendan Allen, these two know each other real well. He kind of like went to his back at the right times and really just played it smart. I thought that I thought Allen was kind of winning on the feet. I thought that he might try to avoid the grappling more and try to keep it on the feet. I thought it was 1-1 going into the final round. And he even like caught Fluffy in the eye, and Fluffy was like dealing with the eye earlier in round four. I was like, oh no, like this could be bad. But He kind of just like waded his way, grabbed, got a hold of him, and did fluffy things from there. So I mean, shout out, man. This is like a division where, you know, a lot of grappling deficiency. I don't know if he can make it all the way to the top, but I could see him beating a Vettori, a Delise. You know what I mean? I could see him. Cannonier would be tough. I'm not gonna lie. Cannonier would be tough, but
It's a tough fight.
I don't know, man. I could see him maybe even Strickland if he can just, turn it into a straight grappling fight. I don't know, but I can see him at least getting closer to the top six at least before he like meets some real trouble. Just because like a lot of these guys aren't grapplers.
You're talking about Fluffy, right?
Get fluffy.
Okay, okay. Yeah, Fluffy did his thing, man. It's kind of what I expected. A little trouble in the start, but Brendan Allen, very famous for good starts in the first round and then chokes all of his other fights away. So I wasn't shocked at all again. Uh, Fluffy looked good, man. I think he's got a lot of morale in him, in terms of just relentless going for the takedowns time and time again. And he's just a better grip man, as far as I can say. Like the way he was able to just get out of positions and win transitions was just so just fun to watch. Like he was all over Brendan Allen at times. The ground and pound was very nice as well. And he controlled him the rest of the fight, round two and on. Um, he looked good, man. I think he's ready for top 10. I think I would even say top five. I think he's that talented and been around he's been around for a long time uh at this point. So I say give him bigger fights. I think him versus Ohio is a pretty interesting matchup that I would look forward to.
Crazy.
Uh, but he is a very talented wrestler for this division. But that's why DDP is so great. He's just gonna shuck them off just like the rest of them. So let's get it.
Fuck the DB, man.
That is the main and co-main. Let's move down the card. A lot of stuff happened. Let's just move on to the featured fight. Rob Font gets a pretty split decision over Gene Matsumoto. A lot of people are kind of upset with the decision. What do you guys think on how the judges scored it? I thought it was fine. I mean,
I
I
mean, I'm
just
not gonna lie, like watching it live, I did think that Font lost. Um, I bet on Font, so I wanted him to win. I was happy, but I kind of had that little feeling in my mind of like, damn, it wasn't a robbery, but I just thought, um, in my mind, Matsumoto might have edged out rounds one and two. Um, Rob Font clearly came on strong, put the pressure on, cut him open in round three, but I did think that he was probably down on the cards. I was not looking at it like it was a 1-1 going into the third. But the decision wasn't egregious, and I mean, like honestly, sometimes the end of the fights, like it's kind of like it's hard to like not do it because it's like sometimes like the end of fights, even though like judges are supposed to judge it round by round, it's like it's hard to not give a close fight to the guy who is whooping the other guy's ass at the end of the fight. You know what I mean? I think we've seen that like a few times, even with like the John Jones Reyes shit. It's like if there's three toss up rounds and then like a few decisive ones, like the fact that like you like as a judge, I would be like, well, damn, John Jones had to. I'm gonna give him one of those flip rounds. You know what I mean? Same thing here. Like Rob Font probably just got one of the flip rounds because like of how good he looked at the end of the fight. It's like how can I like not give him this fight if it's this close? You know what I mean? So I just feel like sometimes like it just be like that. You have to like end these fights strong, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's very similar to me as the Gamrot versus Hooker fight. I thought it was very similar in the same way. I thought it was close, you know. I wouldn't have been mad if they gave it to either. You know, it's kind of one of those situations. I don't think it was a robbery by any means, but some UFC fans will say that for some reason. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. It's kind of a lower level fight. I mean, it's a ring fight, but like, you know, like doesn't matter right now. So I think it's a toss up, and I was cool with the decision. Especially Rob. He looked really good late, really came on late in that fight. But you know, Matsumoto, the real deal. I kind of figured it was going to be a tough fight for Vaughn, and you know, on short notice, Matsumoto looked really good. Uh, I knew a big part of his game was going to have to be to get the takedowns to win the fight, and he did execute. So I do kind of feel like he won the fight, but you know, it's close, so I was okay with it.
All right, let's move down the card, guys. Gene Silva, another impressive victory. That is
Fighting
four.
nerds.
That's
Fighting
four
nerds, baby.
for the fighting nerds. Four finishes in his four UFC fights. This man is Showtime. A lot of talk. A lot of people want to see a Bryce Mitchell matchup. What are you guys' thoughts on Gene Silva's future, and who do you want to see him match up against next? And what do you think his ceiling is as a fighter at featherweight?
I feel like he keeps smacking people, so I don't know. You know what I mean? When people kind of, I'm not gonna call these people he's fighting cans, but I'm just saying like when people are kind of like he's beating like the Drew Dobers of the world who is like a highly respected like journeyman kind of guy. So it's like clearly he's like in the upper tier of the division. But like how far I have to see him fight a little longer. But he's really explosive in there, really impressive, and I mean clearly has the power at featherweight to like shut people's lights out. So I mean, I can't put a hard ceiling on him, especially like the division is up for grabs at this point. Ilya just left, like Volk old, Diego Lopez, you know what I mean, up there. But I mean, shit, a couple key wins, man. Max Holloway's out of the division now. It's like kind of more wide open than it's been in a lot of years. So I mean, there's no dominant force anymore, like holding the division down. So I don't know. Like I'm not gonna put a cap on his ceiling. I would say not yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think his ceiling is very high. I think champion level. Just based on everything I've seen, the power just, you know, it's insane. It kind of feels like he doesn't really throw everything into the first few punches. And then once he really just starts to actually try, you could just see the power. Like, and I feel like the more he gets into those technical wars with the fighters of the division, he'll tighten up just like he did in the Dober fight. I thought he was very technical in that one and kind of just picked him apart in that fight. This man's dangerous. He's also on Team Clark. I'm loving my team right now. I have a bunch of good fights coming up. Uh, Olberg walking over Jan Blachowicz, and let me tell you. Uh,
Hey, you
but
don't see it? You don't see it,
No,
eh?
I got Jan Blachowicz, bro.
see, yeah, I already knew that. That's why I
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
made it known here. But anyways, this man's a monster. He's been killing it so far. Just clearly has a huge power edge over a lot of guys, I think, in this division. And that Dober fight, I mean, I believe was at lightweight. Is he at he's at featherweight, right?
Yeah, this is at featherweight. Let me check.
Yeah.
Over.
I believe that was at lightweight. So his power clearly,
Translates.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's giving me a lot of Taporia vibes, honestly. The way he fights. Not exactly the same, but just from a power edge, the clean hands, the crispness and the way they throw.
For that.
You know, I think he has the potential to be champion, absolutely. And I think he's due for a big year this year. I think he'll finish near the top five by the end of this year.
I love the Bryce Mitchell fight next. I think it'll test his grappling and it's just like a fun fight. Two big names.
The UFC would love nothing more than like for Bryce Mitchell to get starched in a violent way after the shit he's been
I was
pulling.
gonna say, it also would just be nice to see Bryce Mitchell get fucking obliterated again, like Josh Emmett did. But yeah, super impressive stuff from the fighting nerds as always. Man, something I was totally wrong about. Uh, Aslan got submitted by Kutilaba. I was fully convinced he was gonna run Kutilaba over and just knock him out. I thought Aslan Loki had kind of a decent future in the division. He still might. I mean, Kutilaba's not terrible, but damn, he got submitted.
Fucking fraud, bro. That was
Damn
crazy.
it, bro.
That was tough. I will say though, on the feed, he still looked good to me. He still looked good.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just fuck, dude. Yeah, that ground game kind of got exposed. Um,
Luckily, there,
uh,
luckily, there's not that many wrestlers in that division.
that is true. But yeah, we got to talk about this Ricky Simone upset. Basharat was a minus 245 and he gets knocked out cold in Ricky Simone's hometown. What are you guys' thoughts on like this from Basharat's sides first? Because the UFC was clearly, and a lot of people were very high on him.
I think he's the worst Basharat of the two brothers. Um, but I mean, he still looks good in this fight, man. I thought he won round one. Wait, was it only round one? Let me see.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But I mean, he won most of the round. Just got starched, bro. I mean, I love this takedown defense. Simone was working real hard to get those takedowns, wasn't having the most success. He was being able to like, control him against the cage some, but I mean, when they got back to distance, Bashar was kind of picking him apart. Um, Looked real composed in there. I mean, to me, he didn't lose too much stake in this loss, but I will just put him on chin watch. You know what I mean? He might just be one of those guys who's super skilled, but the chin just doesn't let him be great, and he's now firmly on chin watch for me.
On the chin watch.
And
Yeah.
then like shout out Ricky Simone, man, trying to like, switch up his aura and shit, coming in with the blonde hair for the first time, ditching the mullet. Like, I was like, who the fuck is this guy when he came out? I was like, is he training with Charles Oliveira or what? Like, is he shoot through boxer or what? Like, what the fuck going on? And I mean, sometimes like you just gotta change aura, bro. You know what I mean? Rob Font, fuck it, I'm bald today. Like, you know what I mean? You just come in a little different. Like, Bold Ortega, like the best his striking has never looked. Sometimes a vibe change is just like useful.
Facts.
Uh, yeah, I 100% agree with everything you said though. I thought yeah, Bashara was winning that whole round until that moment. Uh, and he's definitely going to be on the chin watch list, let me tell you, because even though Ricky Simone has good power, he was just kind of piecing him up the whole time, and just one shot basically landed that put him out. Um, I just, yeah, who knows? I think Bashara will be fine, but he's definitely gonna have to work on a lot. He's gonna have to work on a lot.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how Oliveira just like is changing everybody's game. Like this man started the blonde hair movement and like hooped his way into one of the best lightweights ever. Now he's just changing lives out here, like giving them like
New aura.
idea, yeah, the new aura.
No, I
Hell
believe.
yeah. Um, anything else on the card you guys want to touch on? Shout out Ruzi Boyev. I think
Wait,
he's nice.
wait, what do you guys want to see from Simone next? 'Cause this was an impressive win.
Yeah.
He's been kind of skidding, but I mean, he's kind of back, man. He's kind of back with a win like this. The way like how devastating it was, like, what would you give him next?
My thing is he's not ranked.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would they try to match him up ranked, you think? Next or like if they try to match him up ranked, I think they'd set him up with like Kyler Phillips,
That's what I
maybe.
was thinking. Phillips, I wouldn't do McGee.
I don't think they would. Maybe Montel Jackson, but Montel whooping him. Let me tell you, that's a fight he does not want to see.
I like the Phillips shit. Like, let Phillips fucking rebound. Like, let him I feel like that's a good fight. I
Yeah,
like that.
that makes sense. Or Zahabi. Zahabi needs to fight someone to stay ranked here.
I don't know.
I'm sick of these damn ranking coasters, bro. Just coasting, just
They're milking.
milking it, bro. Just so they can put on their Instagram bio UFC ranked fighter, bro. That shit crazy.
All right, though. Well, guys, that concludes our recap of UFC Fight Night Seattle. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Later this week, we're going to have a video predicting all of the recent fights that were announced. Please check that video out. Check out the TikTok. We've been super active on there lately, and see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.